Lego Darth Vader, Lego Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lego Baby Yoda. These are just some of the famous characters that make up the iconic Lego Star Wars collection. There's over 20 years of Lego Star Wars history. So, young Jedi, it's time to head to a Lego galaxy far, far away. It's hard to imagine a world without Star Wars Lego. While it was nearly 20 years since the original movie release, first introduced in 1999, Star Wars is Lego's very first movie-based licensed theme and is still going strong today. Although the license was only supposed to last until 2008, the Lego Group has continued to extend the license over the years. It was most recently renewed in 2022, and it will continue until 2032. If you've ever wondered what the very first Lego Star Wars set was, well, drumroll please. The very first Lego Star Wars set was the X-Wing fighter. It was fitting for the set that launched the Star Wars theme. After all, when people think about the beginnings of the Star Wars franchise, they often refer to when Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star in his X-Wing. However, this set did release over 20 years after that movie. That kinda took a while. Someone who watched the original Star Wars movie when they were just 10 was now 32 years old. But hey, you're never too old for Lego. A total of 4 minifigures were included in that very first set. They were R2-D2, Luke Skywalker in his Rebel pilot outfit, Biggs Darklighter, and a Rebel Alliance technician. In the United States, the set retailed for $30, which works out to just over $50 today. Lego primarily targeted the set towards 7 to 12-year-olds, but this was something adults were also waiting for. Remembering the love they had for Star Wars as a kid, the X-Wing also attracted many adult collectors. And if you know Star Wars, you know that the franchise is well known for its army of adult collectors nostalgic for their childhood. While the minifigures and sets have changed over time, the design of the lightsaber hilt has remained unchanged. Luke Skywalker came with his own shiny chrome lightsaber hilt and a cyan blue blade. Things got off to a great start with this Lego set, and it was remade in 2021 under the name Luke Skywalker's X-Wing Fighter. 2 of the minifigures, however, were swapped out. The Rebel Technician and Biggs Darklighter were replaced by Princess Leia and General Dodonna. By this time, the face print and skin tone of the Lego minifigures had changed. Gone were the simple black dots for eyes and yellow as the universal color of the figure. The eyes became slightly more detailed, and the minifigures had adopted a more flesh-toned skin color. With Lego Star Wars finally launched, Lucasfilm and the Lego Group had the opportunity to take advantage of the movie hype train. The toys would help market the movie, while the movie would help sell the Lego toys. In the same year that Lego Star Wars launched, Star Wars made a return to the big screen with Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. This kicked off the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and there was even more movies and toys to come. Fan anticipation was at an overwhelming high. To coincide with the release of Episode 1, Lego released new sets inspired by the film. This included the Gungan Sub, Sith Infiltrator, Naboo Fighter, and the Naboo Swamp. People could also recreate the movie's pod race sequence with the Anakin's Pod Racer and the Mos Espa Pod Racer sets. There may have been only one pod race in the movie, but with these sets, you could create as many pod races as your heart desired. But let's not forget the lightsaber duel set, where Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul faced off. If you couldn't tell by now, it was a very exciting time for movie-based toys, and both Star Wars fans and Lego fans were the big winners. This paved the way for more collaborations between Lego and other franchises down the road. This includes DC and Marvel superheroes, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones, and more. The success of the toys led to Lego sets being produced for every Star Wars movie afterward. This included the following 2 movies in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, all 3 movies of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and the anthology films Solo and Rogue One. LEGO Star Wars isn't just a toy brand, they've also made their way into the world of video games. In 2005, the same year Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith was released, LEGO Star Wars the video game took the world by storm. It was released for PC and the Mac OS, as well as the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Nintendo GameCube. Made by British developer Traveller's Tales, LEGO Star Wars the video game covered all 3 movies in the prequel trilogy. While movie tie-in games were known to usually be of poor quality, LEGO Star Wars was an outlier. Players quickly fell in love with the game's unique brand of humor, the adorable art style, its puzzles, and the action-adventure-based gameplay. Plug in a second controller and you were able to play with your friends and your siblings. But if you didn't want your little brother or sister to play with you, you could disconnect their controller. Keep it hush-hush. They might not notice they're not actually playing the game. When players amassed enough LEGO studs, the game would play a visual and musical cue, labeling you a true Jedi. Following the game's success, Traveller's Tales continued to make more LEGO Star Wars video games. 2006 saw the release of the first sequel, LEGO Star Wars 2: The Original Trilogy. The year after that, there was LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which combined the 2 games into one. Having covered all the mainline Star Wars movies at the time, Traveller's Tales then made a new game based on Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated series. For 5 years, things were relatively quiet, and fans wondered whether there would be another LEGO Star Wars game. When Disney acquired Lucasfilm, they revived the film series with 2015's Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The movie was a massive success, becoming the highest-grossing movie in the US and Canada, and grossing over $2 billion worldwide. Traveller's Tales sprung back into action to make a new video game based on the movie. It released a few months after Star Wars: The Force Awakens hit theaters. Unlike the first 2 LEGO Star Wars games, LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens only adapted the events of a single movie rather than a trilogy. No game based exclusively on the next 2 films in the trilogy were made. Instead, Traveller's Tales went on to make LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. This game covered all 9 of the mainline Star Wars movies, including the final 2 that never got their own game. While LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was initially scheduled for a 2020 release, it was infamously the subject of continuous delay after delay. The highly anticipated game was finally released in 2022, finally allowing LEGO fans to celebrate. It was released for PC, the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, the Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. These platforms have come a long way from their mid-2000s counterparts. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga attracted both new and old fans alike and has already sold over 5 million copies. So, LEGO Star Wars has produced many toys and video games, but what's next? Film and television, of course. To promote Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith and its corresponding LEGO sets, the LEGO Group created LEGO Star Wars Revenge of the Brick. This was a computer-animated short film that premiered on Cartoon Network. The faces of the characters looked somewhat scary, appearing as if it was a strange attempt to mix LEGO with real life. But improvements were made, and the LEGO minifigures began to actually look like LEGO minifigures in future productions. Many computer-animated short films were produced and released on the official LEGO Star Wars website and their YouTube channel. LEGO Star Wars: The Padawan Menace and LEGO Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Out aired on the Cartoon Network. There were even entire television series created for the television channel Disney XD. The list included The Yoda Chronicles, Droid Tales, The Resistance Rises, The Freemaker Adventures, and LEGO Star Wars All-Stars. With the rise of streaming, new television features made the move to Disney+. The first show produced for for Disney Plus was the LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special. It was released in November 2020 as a successor to the surprisingly successful Star Wars Holiday Special that released in 1978. LEGO Star Wars Terrifying Tale was the next to hit Disney Plus, released right before Halloween of 2021. It appears the plan is for a new LEGO Star Wars television special to be released each year. For 2022, it was LEGO Star Wars Summer Vacation. Sure, these LEGO Star Wars television features may be made to sell toys, but they have also consistently been light-hearted fun for the whole family. Over the more than 20 years of LEGO Star Wars history, LEGO has produced more than 800 sets. That's definitely no small number, but some dedicated collectors do their best to collect them all. Those wanting to pick up a set from the 2000s or even a couple years back will have to go to the second-hand market. LEGO retires their sets quickly and moves on to newer sets, possibly to drive up sales. So you'll want to get your hands on the sets you want as soon as you can. Retired LEGO sets that have been unopened are sold at significantly higher prices than when they first went on sale, with prices for some sets, including the Death Star, reaching into the thousands of dollars. After 1983's Return of the Jedi, it took almost 2 decades for a new Star Wars movie to get made. Nowadays, there are several new Star Wars television series or movies every year. So, as you can imagine, there are a lot of LEGO Star Wars sets being released. Since 2015, LEGO has released sets based on The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, Solo, and The Rise of Skywalker. They've also made sets focused on the television series Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Resistance. Additionally, there are sets made for the modern video games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. LEGO does not shy away from making new sets based on older films either. Many of their best-selling sets are based on the original trilogy and prequel trilogy. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Chewbacca made their debut in the late 70s, but they're still around today. It's safe to say these characters and their stories have deeply resonated with people. Han Solo's ship, the Millennium Falcon, received an incredibly detailed premium set. The Ultimate Collector's Series Millennium Falcon was released in 2017. At the time, it was the largest and most expensive LEGO set ever produced. At 7,541 pieces, this set was only for the most dedicated of collectors and LEGO Star Wars fans. Lucasfilm has moved away from their traditional focus on theatrically released movies in recent years. Their focus has shifted towards television series on Disney+. The new series have included the highly anticipated Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett, and The Mandalorian. And of course, all of these series received their own LEGO sets, which other Disney series do not usually get. Marvel is another popular LEGO theme, yet there were no sets for the Disney Plus series Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Ms. Marvel. With so many new Marvel and Star Wars series and movies being released, it's difficult for LEGO to make sets for all of them. But Star Wars typically gets top priority and consistently sells very well. The sets released in 2022 include Boba Fett's Throne Room, The Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter, and Inquisitor Transport Scythe. There was also a new set recreating the Obi-Wan Kenobi series duel between Kenobi and Darth Vader. Similar to Funko Pops, LEGO has been experimenting with a new product line called Brickheads. There have been brickheads made for Han Solo, Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, and more. But the cutest was easily the Mandalorian set featuring the lovable Grogu, otherwise known as the internet's Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda even got a life-sized 1,000-plus piece set called The Child. The set came with a regular-sized Grogu minifigure, which was an ant in comparison to the main build. Many new Star Wars characters will soon be introduced in new series on Disney+. So, of course, we should be expecting a whole lot more LEGO Star Wars sets in the very near future. Let us know your favorite LEGO Star Wars sets in the comment section down below, and go ahead and check out another video. Thanks for watching!